So today I wanted to talk to you about injury recovery. So this is an area that we just see a lot of our clients being way too casual about without realizing the long-term effects that an injury can have on your body. So in all the areas to have a relaxed attitude in your life, recovering from an injury is just not one of them. So if you're starting to feel a little bit guilty, keep watching. So hands up to any of us who have done an injury to themselves, rested for a bit, and just hope for the best. We're all guilty of this. I think it's just a little bit human nature to kind of just want to walk something off and hope for the best, because it's timely and it takes a lot of effort to recover from an injury. You just sort of want it to go away on its own without having to put in the actual effort in yourself. So this could be something acute, like on the sporting field if you're playing soccer and you sprain your ankle, or something that sort of happened over time, like a rotator cuff injury from the mouse work that you do with your job at the computer, for example. And you know, we get symptoms from them every now and again, a lot of times, especially with the chronic, or you know, we've got the sore ankle to begin with the acute symptoms, and we deal with them, but we sort of come and go from dealing with it properly. We get these sporadic symptoms that then we deal with sporadically, and we're not really on a proper process, like a long-term treatment plan to make sure that our body is really 100% recovered and restored back to its normal function before that injury. So there are two main ways that this approach will go. So the approach of sort of dealing with an injury very sporadically, or maybe just resting and trying to hope that it goes away, shoving it off into the corner somewhere. So first off, you just never really fully recover, and it just becomes this chronic thing that just keeps plaguing you for years and years in the same spot. So if it's your ankle, you just all of a sudden you've just got a bad ankle, and you surrender to that. The second way that it'll go is you seemingly recover from the actual initial problem. So say it was the ankle sort of goes okay, it's fine, you go back to playing your sport, walking, running, whatever it is you're doing. But then over the years, months or years, you start to experience all these other unexplained pains in your body. So all of a sudden, your knee gets a bit sore, or your hip or your back is a little bit achy and you don't really know why. And that's because injuries, when you recover from an injury, there's a whole host of compensation that goes on in your body that changes your movement basically, and means that your body pre and post injury is not moving the same. So why do we go down this road of not dealing with an injury proactively? I think the first reason is because rest actually probably does help. It definitely does help. It's our natural kind of way of dealing with pain. We rest and it gets a little bit better. So that lulls us into a false sense of security that we can just go back to doing all the things that we were doing. The second thing as well is if you actually do go down the road of some rehabilitation with a therapist, your pain levels can actually improve pretty quickly with a few treatments. And so then again, that false sense of security can occur where you feel ready to go back to all your normal activities. The thing with that is our bodies are a lot more complex than that in terms of the way that they deal with injuries. So I wish it was that simple. The saying time heals all wounds just does not apply when it comes to injury. When you injure yourself, as I was talking about before, there's a whole chain of compensations that's going to occur to your movement to deal with that injury. It's a survival mechanism, so your nervous system puts an adaptation in place for you to get you through, to be able to basically still move and to sort of decrease your pain levels while that injury is in its acute phase. Those compensations then just become your default way of moving. So unfortunately, it would be great if it did, but unfortunately your body doesn't just reverse back to its old way of moving once that the pain stage of that injury has passed. You'll just start moving in this new way permanently, and that's what will lead to secondary problems occurring with the injury. To make matters even more complicated, a lot of the time an injury occurs, unless it's something traumatic like somebody barging into you on the football field, they occur because you're already not moving too well. So that injury, even after you recover from it initially, is going to keep happening over and over again because you're not dealing with the root cause of the problem. So that's why it's so important when you do injure yourself that you seek professional help and that you see that advice through to the end. So if you're guilty of the rest and hope for the best approach, which we all are at times, or you've left a rehab program before it's really finished and you haven't committed to the ongoing exercises that have been given to you, then I'm talking to you directly right now about a better approach for your body and for your health. So here at Muscle Medicine, we don't just want to deal with the acute symptoms. We want to help you feel better in the short term for sure, but we want to make sure that we've gotten to the root cause of why that injury occurred into the first place, so that you're not just here for months and months and locked into unnecessary treatments. And we also want to make sure that we assess the compensations that your body has made because of that injury, so that again you're going to have long-term sustainable results and you're not going to suffer other problems because you haven't dealt with the compensations your body's made for the injury in the first place. I really want to stress as well that it's never too late to reverse the effects of an injury on your body. So if you're sitting there thinking, no, I've just left this way too long, I've got to suffer with it now, you're so wrong. There's always improvements that can be made. It's simply a matter of having your body and your movement assessed in detail so that all those compensations that you made for the original injury can be reversed and dealt with. And we really pride ourselves on that process here at Muscle Medicine. The most important part of that process, however, is your commitment. So I think one of the main reasons we don't deal with injuries properly in the first place is because it's really hard work. It takes a lot of patience. It's time consuming to begin with. But the benefits of listening to your therapist, taking on that advice and investing in your body's long-term function is so priceless. It'll just pay off over the course of your life, especially if there's certain sports you love to play and activities you like to do that you want to see yourself continue to do as you're getting older and not have to give up, then that's even more important. From simple things like being able to pick up your grandkids to running a marathon, if you want to be able to do it, then you should be able to do it. So if you're ready to finally recover from that old injury, or if you just recently hurt yourself and you really want to make sure that you're going down the right track with how you're trying to recover from that, then we really, really want to help you. So please get in contact with us.
If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, or share. Muscle Medicine Bodywork. Live your best life.